Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Pásztor and I would like to introduce you to our new format where you guys will be sending us replays and I'll be going over them and analyzing them and giving you any feedback where you could improve or any feedback on where you on how you could avoid some of your mistakes and just a general feedback from myself or just a general knowledge that could help you guys improve. So we've got our first replay here. It's around Daytona and we are coming into the bus stop in a Lambo GT3. Let's watch the replay first. Okay, so let's analyze it. First thing first, I'll load my inputs. So, coming to the bus stop, as I can see, your braking point is literally the same as mine, so that's really good already. You're maybe braking even a little bit later than I am here. So you take the light pole as a braking point, which is the braking point that I've been referring to in my guide as well. So that's a really good start. So what I can see, your braking inputs are really smooth. So coming to the first left-hander. Okay, so the first thing that I would say is that your general approach into the corner is really good, but the thing that you're doing wrong here is that you're not attacking the curb enough. So right at about this point, you should be on the edge of the yellow sausage curb, which would help you with the line throughout the whole section. So as we will see in a second, you are most likely going to be way too shallow going onto the right corner. Okay. So yeah, like I said, your trajectory is not going to be the best here, as you're going way too shallow. So you'll end up going way too wide here. You're attacking the curb quite well here, so this is really good. You are basically where you should be. So you should be over the second yellow sausage curb here. So this one is really good. That's what I do here as well. But you will end up going way too wide on the exit here. So as you can see, okay, so you're not taking the curb enough. So at about this point, you should be on the yellow sausage curbs on the right side. But this could be taken as that you just want to be safe and you do not want to take the risks with the possibility of getting a really weird bounce on the curb and possibly spinning. But this is basically the point where you will be losing the most amount of time. So what we can see here is that from this point on you are scrubbing off way too much speed. So your minimum speed through the corner will be a little bit lower than mine, which is the most important thing for the time gain, and that's where you will be losing the most amount of time. And as you can see, I'm already on throttle at about this point, and it will generally take a little bit longer to get back to the throttle. So you'll see that I'm 7 kph above your speed, and 7 kph is a lot. So you're basically going to lose about 2/10 here from what I can see. So at some point you are even 8 kph down. So what I would recommend is, well, let's go from the beginning. So maybe you could try to start turning more for the first corner, just so you are not going too wide here. So your goal here should be to stay like to the left of the curb and to not go over the curb with your left side tires, or this curb that you're going over here, because it will basically disrupt the car, and yeah, you'll have much harder time carrying the speed and doing the correct line, and you start scrubbing off way too much speed at about this point. So as you can see, you are going on the brakes way too early, and you are holding the brakes for way too long. And so here we can see that you are a little bit, maybe a bit scared to go on troll really early. So what I would recommend is you should start attacking the corners a little bit more. So you should try to carry a lot more speed into all of the corners and generally try to accelerate much earlier. Try to be on troll as soon as possible. And so, like you can see, I'm already full throttle here while you are at like 65%, 65 to 75%. And this is the point where I start gaining a lot more. So for the Busstop, it is the most important thing that you try to carry a lot of speed through the whole section, and then you are trying to get the best possible exit. So at the end, you will see that you are not taking enough curb. You are just taking it safe here. So you are leaving quite a bit of margin here. So you can basically be a bit more towards the left, basically by another tire size. So on the exit, you're 5 kph down, which will sacrifice the whole speed for the straight towards the finish line, and that's where you will be losing a lot of time. Also, another thing where you could improve is that. So what I notice in a lot of people is that they are trying to be way too perfect with their braking inputs. So you can see that your braking input is really nice. It is really consistent, and you've got a really good brake trace, but it is not really needed in GT3s. So what you can see, what I like to do in most of the situation is that I try to brake a lot harder at the beginning, especially when you are going into a corner like this where you need to chill brake into a corner for a while turning in, is that I just try to brake a lot harder at the beginning, and then I reduce the braking input a lot earlier than you do here. So I'll end up carrying basically the same or even a little bit more of the speed than you do, and I can afford to put in a lot more steering input, and I can just have a little bit more confidence in the car. So in general, it will just help you with the confidence. And as you can see, right at about this point where I'm already getting off the brakes, you are already a few kph down here. And in general, you should just try to start turning a little bit earlier. And you should just try not to brake too much into the next one. So just in general, try to attack the corner a lot more than what you do here, and then try to attack the exit a lot more than you do here. So, like I said, try to be on troll very, very early. It's the preload is going to help you with the rotation on troll, so it might even be beneficial in a way where your car will rotate better when you go on troll a little bit earlier than you do here. So you'll be able to rotate the car, and it will be much easier to get to the point. I was saying that you will be on the edge of the yellow sausage curb on the right side, and that will also help you use the exit curb completely, which will give you a little bit more exit speed. Also, another tip that I would give you that would be a little general tip for every single one of you guys that are watching this video. The best way to improve in a certain sector that you are struggling in, or in a certain section, like for example Busstop, is that, for example, you set your reset button, so or start of the reset point to about like right before where the sector begins. So right about on the straight right here. So you give yourself a little bit of a margin before you start braking. So set your reset point right at about this point, and just try to repeat this whole section and that's where you will be gaining the most amount of time, and that's the easiest way that you can learn the certain section that you are struggling with. So set your reset point right before the bus stop and just try to repeat the bus stop all over again, and just try to look at your delta. It will be helping you a lot with the improvement, and it will generally just be much easier than if you were to do just laps and laps and laps and laps. Because if you are doing laps, you are not doing the same section the whole time, and you could be doing the same mistake over and over again, and you would never be able to learn the bus stop properly, for example, or a certain sector properly. So the same applies if you are struggling with a sector, you can just set your reset point right before the sector begins, and you can do the whole sector, or you can divide it into pieces. You can divide it into certain corners. So set your reset points and just try to repeat that section, which will be helping you learn a lot quicker. So that's what I think. That's what a lot of the professional guys do. I do it myself if I struggle with a certain sector, and it will most likely help you guys as well. So that was the first replay from you guys. So if you guys want me to analyze your replay, if you want me to go over your mistakes, if you want me to help you improve, feel free to send us your replays on the Discord. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye bye.